It's been a while, but this is the best time for an update about twin flames, sacred flames, as I prefer, divine feminine and divine masculine in some ways as well. In this space, starting with the divine feminine, we are going through a major transformation. Yes, of course, it comes through anger, it comes through changes we need to experience in everything. Patience is coming out of the window lately in a way that we've had enough with the waiting, we had enough with all of the processes we are outgrowing within ourselves, becoming a more sovereign being in our own energies and all of these beautiful things that are changing. And as we go through this transformation, we are holding the space for the divine masculine as well. And this is the best thing we can do, to hold the space and be okay with everything that is undergoing, even when we are not sure about it, even when we are not aware of the changes in a tangible way around us. Now, what else is changing? There was a standstill, a huge period of standstill, even to the level that nothing was moving anywhere in any direction. It was kind of like, does this exist even anymore? We went through a stage where we were questioning if all of these were in our imagination, if it were something that we made up, if it was an illusion we experienced. We had all of these questions, this back and forth, and since no movement was actually obvious in that space, we felt that something is completely off in the long run, in the whole picture of things, and how everything should be shifting or moving forward somehow. The interesting thing is, after the 5-5 portal day we experienced a few days ago, a lot of things started to shift. Yes, there was a huge decluttering in beliefs, in worries, in doubts for the divine feminine things that were shifting inwardly, and we had no clue what was shifting in actuality in many ways. But what was underlying in that space was the excitement that something beautiful, something good, something exciting is about to happen. So yes, be in the space of declutter all your beliefs, all your worries, all your doubts. Let your expectations go and allow yourself to receive what is meant to be received in this space at this point of time. Now, when it comes to the divine masculine, I was asking my guides what is going on with the divine masculine, what is shifting, what is changing with them, because I know there is a lot of transformation taking place within the divine feminine, dark, light, feminine, however you want to call it. Many different aspects of us are being shifted, transmuted into something new, something else. Even our boundaries of what we accept and tolerate have changed in a huge way. But what is truly going on with the divine masculine? For the divine masculine, the guidance I received was about decluttering. They're still it feels like some steps behind, but it's not exactly that. It feels like they are decluttering within themselves, not just beliefs, but even actions, even different, how can I say that? Different ways of being within themselves, actions that they have taken in the past, but they weren't exactly in alignment with them. And now they are in the space of weighing the options they have in front of them. What feels in alignment, what doesn't feel in alignment. If I did something because I wanted to get it out of my system, if it is indeed my guidance that I need to keep it and keep going forward with that as an action, as a task. Many from the divine masculine are getting into a space of recognizing their feelings about their divine feminine, recognizing that it doesn't matter if they have come to a space of embracing fully themselves or not. Because the divine feminine has been entertaining this thought for quite a while. I will never be perfect, or perfect in the way I think I should be perfect, or I won't have reached some kind of perfection that was believed collectively that divine feminine and divine masculine have to reach before the union. It's not about that. We will always have things to work on ourselves. We will always have things to work with each other. It's not about getting into a space of being fully in your power in a way. Yes, this is my no, this is my clear yes, this is that. We are all in a learning process. And this is what the divine masculine is realizing. Usually, the divine masculine is the runner, the one who runs away from the connection because they believe they have things to embrace within themselves, things to acknowledge, things to work on themselves, and they don't feel good enough in many ways. They see from a distance the divine feminine, believing they are in their power and that they are not worthy of that way of the how the divine feminine is holding herself. And now I'm using herself and himself, but it's not gender specific. A divine masculine can be represented by a woman in this life, by a guy in this life. It doesn't even matter. The genders don't even matter in these connections. So in that space, they are still decluttering, still figuring out themselves. There are many tower moments they are going through. Not that it is easier for the divine feminine, but the divine feminine is more in her power, embracing these tower moments in a different way and with more openness. Yes, if there's something else to collapse, let's collapse it. You see, the difference between divine feminine and divine masculine has to do with emotional navigation within themselves of how they handle their feelings and how they get clarity on different things. And this is why it is easier for the divine feminine to say, yes, this is my sacred flame, this is the person I've been waiting my whole life. This person speaks to me in a different way, to my soul, to my spirit, to my heart, to every fiber of my being. And this is why also the divine masculine gets to be the runner, because they don't feel ready in embracing their feelings, the love they have, without feeling that they will be too vulnerable in that space. This is usually the main reason why someone runs from the connection. It's hard to embrace that vulnerability and that feeling of belonging. On the other hand, there are some issues being taken care of from the divine in overall, and I will explain what is coming from that space. I have an amazing friend that her gifts are beyond my comprehensions in some ways. She receives information through her dreams. It's not dream work, it is literally guidance that comes through her dreams. And she was explaining just today to me that the dreams that she had the previous week about sacred flames, twin flames, it was the standstill, that we are in a space of standstill and nothing is moving in any direction, and it feels kind of like the void, nothing, nothingness. Which is something we all experienced, and some of us still experience that feeling of nothingness in that space. And this is why all these questions. Now, her recent dream, the one that she had this week, today, most specifically, was quite different. It felt like a scene of Bollywood in many ways, and this is why I'm laughing with this. It was a different scenery with a song playing. Um, Let me remember the title. Tell Her About It. Tell Her About It was the title by Billy Joel, I think. Quite an oldie as a song. But if you read the lyrics, if you search the song, you will be amazed with the messages that were coming through just by this song. Now, what she saw in overall was cars starting to move when they were in a standstill, police being there and singing and dancing in the streets. Men and women were there with their cars, and something was moving forward, which is connected with the excitement we started feeling after the 5-5 portal. In that space, what you can understand is the movement that starts to happen, that we are not going in opposite directions anymore, that we start moving towards the same direction, but also a huge recognition from about the emotions that the divine masculine has for the divine feminine. If you read again, I'm saying this, the lyrics from the song Tell Her About It. And in that space, I know we don't need more promises or more channeled messages about things are going to shift. Because me personally, I have received those messages too many times from my higher self, from my spirit guides, from others that have read for me. But the point is one: when you get into a space of recognizing your own desires, your own needs, and not being stuck with the same ideas or the same beliefs or the same worries, this is how energy shifts between you and your divine feminine or masculine, depending on which role you embrace in this life. So, in that space, do a ritual where you have uh, recognized and acknowledged your own beliefs, worries, and doubts that keep you in a repetitive cycle of mindset, even creating mental fog in that space, and release those to the universe. Burn the paper after you have written down everything, or destroy it in any way that feels right for you. You don't have to put your house on fire, okay? But find a way where you are releasing all the things you have been holding on to as a worry, as an unconscious protection, I would call it as well, because sometimes we need to feel protected. So we keep holding on to a worry, a doubt, and that creates the illusion of protection. Do that work with yourself in order to find yourself in a better space, not with the motivation even to help the connection and the union later on, but for your own sake. Because when we are stuck in mindset and we create this mental fog around us, it makes it difficult for us to operate and being open in our daily lives for something new and different. So, having said all of these things, and someone keeps repeating that from my guides, that the divine masculine is in a decluttering space, decluttering not physically, but decluttering their tasks, their days, from tasks that they are not longer in alignment with them, or even decluttering their connections to figure out what they have been ignoring within themselves, which creates some kind of clutter in their thoughts and makes it easier for them to ignore their own feelings. This is the kind of decluttering they are going through. And keep going because you are in a good space. Mm, as divine feminine in a way that helps you move forward in your own power of recognizing who you are, not because someone has to see you in your power, but because you will feel different. Not just the confidence, not just the self respect and self worth that changes in that space, but creating the life you were meant to be having already in many ways, levels, and layers. I hope this clarifies something. If you are in a twin flame connection and you see this video, please let me know in the comments of what is going on with your personal journey, how things are shifting, if you have found communication happening, which is not something yet I see collectively, maybe very few, but not an interesting actual communication in a way that is meaningful and in depth. So let me know in the comments how it has been for you, how you have seen things shifting within your own energy, within the energy of the connection. And I will be more than happy to help you and support you in that space. See you on the next video, and I hope many more updates will come on this matter. It will be interesting to see what's going on next, like a movie.